Okay, today is January the 2nd, 2016. We're watching the water vapor loop for the Northeast Pacific. And today in Los Angeles, we had heavy chemtrailing once again for the second day of the year. And that is because we've got this cold front moving towards the west coast. However, we have rain in the forecast according to KCAL 9, and some of the other weather outlets are forecasting rain. And we see that this HAARP transmitter up here has moved that blockade that was over California on December 30th, 31st, and January 1st, that was blocking all the weather down here, has moved and is now parked over Oregon and Washington. And there is an upper level low pressure right here spinning, and they have a transmitter on top of that. So they are following that storm with, or rather that low pressure, pardon me, with this HAARP transmitter right here. Meantime, we've got these two storms here, which are forecast to move in and drop rain, dump some rain in the next several days. That's good news. All right, let's look at the rainbow loop. This is the infrared loop, and we can see this high pressure right here that has followed that upper level low is sort of starting to cut off this flow that's moving into Canada and part of Alaska. That is being cut off. This high pressure right here is starting to affect that flow, and also right here in the core of that spinning low is also being affected. We can see the effect that this high pressure is starting to have. Let's look at this up close in the water vapor loop. This is the western U.S. It's close up. We can see the size of this storm here. This is pretty large, and there is chemtrails being dumped in the skies of Los Angeles, and some of the people that post messages on my videos have indicated that San Diego and different areas are also being sprayed. Okay, and we have a HAARP transmitter, of course, between these two systems to keep them separated. Otherwise, these would combine into a very large storm system. Now, this is supposed to be the first one that moves in, this storm here. We have a second hurricane force storm right here, which will move in later in the week. And both are forecast to drop some fairly heavy rain. Mainly, this is the big one here that will dump most of the rain. Okay, and here is the infrared loop. You see all that frontal system. This is going to move in. We have that high pressure that's following the upper level low right over Oregon, and that is affecting this first storm. We can see what's happening here. It's cutting off that moisture field, moving up into Canada, and also right here on the core, it's starting to have an effect. It's breaking that apart, and that will weaken this system because we won't have as much convection. This vortex will not be as efficient with that heat right there on the core. So when they've got heat right next to a low pressure, there's going to be a lot of wind and a lot of violent weather out in this area. And when we look at the ocean swell forecast, we'll see a lot of high swells out in this area. Take a look at that. There's actually some 31-foot seas right out in the middle of that. Okay, let's take a look at the jet stream. And you can see that the jet stream is moving in on the west coast over Baja, going through Mexico, and then moving up through Texas and out to the east-northeast. All right, let's move on to the sea level pressure. We can see the sea level pressure. We've got those two storms. We don't have any high pressure off the coast of California or anywhere along the west coast. It's all pretty wide open. The only high indicated is right here. That's Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah, and that's where the high is indicated. So there's no surface high pressure off the west coast, and that's going to allow some of this weather to move in. All right, let's look at the 500 millibar, and there's that upper level low that has a HAARP transmitter on it. Meantime, this low will move in. That's what they're forecasting. There's no high pressure to block this on our maps, so this has nowhere to go. The weather moves more or less from west to east under normal operating conditions, and since there's no high pressure here to block this, this is going to move in as Mother Nature intends to drop rain. And we see a little bit of a little point there that indicates a small amount of high pressure right there. All right, let's go look at the 300 millibar. And we see some little ridge there of high pressure. They do have a buffer zone, and we'll look at that on the surface analysis map. There is I think 1,012 millibar high pressure along the coast on the surface, and that will be a buffer zone. As this moves in, they can pump that up at any time to stop what may be severe thunderstorms and rain. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. We'll be watching this very carefully, and if we'll put up multiple videos each day on YouTube if things get interesting. All right, here is this is the surface analysis map, and as I was mentioning, there's an area of high pressure, 1,019 millibar, right here off of the California coast. I just call this a sort of a buffer zone, and so as this cold front moves in, we can see this is a nice cold front with no occlusions. It's just going to move in and drop rain. And that's interesting. We've got 988 millibar storm right here, and we have that 957 millibar hurricane force storm right here. So this is the big one. They've got a HAARP transmitter on this, and that's what this purple occlusion indicates. We've got warm air overtaking cold air, and that's the HAARP transmitter. And then we have a warm front shown here, and that's from the HAARP transmitter. All right, and this is also going to move in, drop some rain, so that's great news. All right, here is the ocean swell report, and we can see that there are some pretty large swells. 27 feet, this first system, 24. So all of these swells are going to move into the California coastline here in about 2-3 days, bringing some very large surf. Also, we have that second storm. That's going to be even a larger, much larger storm. That's already generating 21-foot swells out over Hawaii. All right, next is this is the geostationary water vapor loop, and we can see that first system winding its way towards the coastline. We had chemtrails all day today, and they will be chemtrailing all through here. There is no high pressure. This is the old blockade that's moved up and followed that dry upper level low. They're keeping heat on that low so it doesn't develop into a third system. So we have an opportunity for rain. All right, let's look at that's the MODIS today map. That didn't quite get finished. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. We will do multiple updates as things develop. Got our sandbags ready, and we'll do another update tomorrow. So that's it.